Champions League. We deserve it.
More points and more goals than last season, but not in the top four, not in the Champions League. How frustrating is that?
Yeah, it's sad and frustrating. It was down to 1 point in the end, and I think the total is decent. You know, if you look at all over the years, with 75 points, not to be in the top four. I think really the first time, but in the end it was down to 1 point, and we did the job until the end. And even today with 10 men, I think we were remarkable, and this group has to stay together, and because I think they will win the championship.
What about your record in terms of Champions League? The first time in 20 years you've missed out. How do you process that? Because you're a very competitive man, you study football so much, and not to achieve your standards must be quite deflating and really annoying.
It is, but you know, we have I think we had a spell during the season where it was very different. My personal situation had certainly an influence at some stage on the group as well, and we played in a very hostile environment for the second part of the season, what didn't help. And overall, I believe that the players came back in a very strong togetherness in the last 2 months, and responded exceptionally well. I'm very proud of them. In the last 2 months, they have shown exceptional strength.
What about you? How difficult when you were the focus of attention? Supporters saying, Wenger out, he's got to go, we've had enough of him. How do you take all that? How have you managed to process that?
I focus on my job, you know, I'm professional, and I think I love this club enough to give my best every single day, and that's what I try to focus on.
So, and if you love the club so much, many people may be puzzled as to why it's taken so long that your future is resolved, either one way or the other.
Well, you know, I don't think that's the moment to speak about that.
You know what I mean?
I think one thing you cannot question is my love for this club, because I said no to every single club in the world to get to the end of the project when we build the stadium, and to be loyal to this club. And one thing certainly nobody can question is my love for this club.
Which means, in a way, if you had your say, you'd go, I'm here for another few years, however long you want, in a way, wouldn't you?
No, it's not about that. I just speak about the love for the club and the loyalty I've shown in a very important period of my career. I think you cannot question that.
Arsene Wenger then, so the first time finishing outside the top four since 1995-96, the first time finishing outside the top four in 21 seasons under Arsene Wenger, and they failed to qualify for the Champions League for the first time since 1996-1997. Interesting, fascinating, Carl Martino, hearing Arsene Wenger there, because in the last few weeks or last few months he's been saying, no, my situation's had no effect on the players. He's just admitted it had an influence on the players.
We could see it's had an effect on the players, and that stretch that he's talking about where it was difficult, one of the reasons it was difficult on the players is because he said he'd made up his mind. He said, I've made up my mind, I know what I'm going to do, and you're going to find out really soon. So the players said, okay, what is it? Tell us. And when that answer didn't come, it meant one of two things. Either the manager just lied to them, or the manager doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes. The decision actually hasn't been made, and it's been taken out of his hands. Now we're hearing that the FA Cup final, it hinges on that game, and after that game, a decision's going to be made. Now Arsene Wenger is going into the FA Cup final without his captain, Koscielny, without Gabriel, who got a bad injury. Mustafi was sick today, so he may recover, he may not. He's going with a weakened side into a game where his team is kind of questioning a lot. Not only current players, but players they're trying to bring in have to be asking questions too. And let's get this straight. It's not a team that's not playing for their manager. Down the stretch, they've been excellent, so they're playing for him. He's just not helping them.
It's damaged their season, hasn't it?
It has, but I'm not taking that as the reason why they're not in the top four, Rebecca. As it hurt the team at home, maybe a little bit, but sadly the same issues, Rebecca, come up during a season long, that they haven't got the mentality in tough periods of the season, whether it's in the winter, whether it's a little bit later this season, to keep grinding out points and wins to stay at the very top. He can say that, but it sounds to me a little bit like an excuse that, you know, it's been a difficult environment. It can't help. But it's not the reason they're in the top four.
Okay, in the top four, though, we have to talk about Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. What an achievement. You believe